It is Sunday, June 15th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, buddy, how was last week's sports week?
Not the best.
Yeah.
Not the best. Battle Hawks, they lost humiliating defeat against the Birmingham Stallions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Call will not be law
the
for the
law was
UFL
broken.
championship.
The law was broken. Now we just gotta have a stadium of people mocking us for the championship game for not getting it done 2 years in a row. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the city of St. Louis still turns out very strong just to show that we will.
Based on what I've heard so far this week, that's not been the case.
Tickets are not selling strong.
That's what I've heard so far this week, because I've heard people talking about, oh, it looks like St. Louis fans don't care about football, don't care about the UFL like they said they would. They just care about proving the NFL wrong. Or they care about rooting for their team.
Yeah.
And then wanting
what other city would go to a game where their city isn't represented?
So it's like,
just because it's a championship game for a league that is 1 year old, 2 years old if you don't count the the combining.
Yeah. So it is what it is. We got destroyed. Hopefully, the game still turns out as a good crowd. And I think some people said even with it being less than expected for St. Louis fans to turn out, it's still probably on par, if not more, than any of the other games that have happened this season.
You heard? All righty. Well, we won't be covering that, but we'll cover 3 other topics here on You Don't Watch Sports. 3 topics just to sprinkle a little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Topic number 1, the NBA Finals are getting down to it, Omari. The Dallas Mavericks stayed alive in Game 4 with a victory of 122-84, but the series is 3-1. What chance are you giving Dallas?
Hopefully this motivates them like when Perkins did to the Warriors, but zero
chance.
No team has ever come back from being down 3-0 in the NBA Finals. And when you're against, the winningest team in company history, chances are that ain't happening either. So, congratulations to them. In these dark times, it's good to know that the sun indeed does not rise tomorrow. The moon shall forever shine. Boston wins again. Luka is going to start getting, or has already started, even at this point. I was surprised that that it went to 3-1 because of the way the first 3 games went, and seeing all the criticism that Luka is already getting. Because much like they do with a lot of these young stars, you're good until you make it to the finals and lose, and then suddenly you were never that good to begin with.
You can't win the big one.
You can't win the big one. You're not good. I don't know why we even bigged you up. Meanwhile, people that don't make it to the finals, well, they didn't lose in the finals. We don't know how they really react, but they're better players. What? Okay. I'll never understand how getting to the finals and losing is worse than never making it to the finals. But I digress.
We'll be able to check out on Monday, 8:30 Eastern. It will be Game 5, and you think Boston's going to close it out there?
Yeah, it's in Boston, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're back in Boston.
Yeah, they probably did the thing where some teams want to win at home, so they may not go as hard on the road for the 4th game because they want to celebrate in their own stadium. Even though people do like the sad crowd when they win a championship, just that Boston hasn't won in a good, 2 years. So I know it's been longer, but they want that crowd thing because they have a lot of spoiled fans who feel like they never experienced success. So they're like, we need the Boston fans deserve something. We're gonna win this one on our floor and enjoy it at long last. Our like 2 year championship drought as a city is over. Hmm. Anyway,
Topic number two, Omar. We also have the Stanley Cup Finals going on right now, while your Florida Panthers are whooping my Edmonton Oilers' butts. Despite Connor McDavid scoring 34 points across the playoffs so far, he cannot get the job done. Florida is leading the series 3-0. It feels just like we were talking about with the NBA that this one is nearing completion. Um, Once again, the country of Canada will not hold up the Stanley Cup.
I only have three things to say to that. USA, USA, USA.
All right, well, we will check back in. So we got game 4 tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then you got games going on. What is it, Tuesday and later on next week if need be. Topic number 3, Omari, we got WWE Clash at the Castle is this weekend. It's today. It's happening maybe right now as you're watching this, motherfucker. Um,
Yeah, the
Go check
class.
out some wrestling. The crowd in Scotland is sure to be insane. I want to run down this match card real quick with you and
All right.
see what you think's gonna happen here. Uh Maybe leading off the show, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. It's hard to imagine we have anything but the main event to expect, but Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles will be competing for the undisputed WWE Championship in an I Quit match. Omari, is there any way that Cody Rhodes says I quit?
Yeah, there is a way. I highly doubt it, but someone apparently is joining this match and will be in the crowd. And she has popped into fame a little bit recently with somebody else beating the shit out of Cody. And that's Mama Rhodes, apparently, is going to be present. There was like a picture of him with Mama Rhodes, like heading to Scotland or some shit. If AJ, oh, there's a chance, AJ could use Mama Rhodes like as a thing to make Cody quit. But that's a small chance. That's like 10%. I see Cody winning this and keeping it going because he's super face Cody Rhodes right now. And his whole thing is, I'm working champion and we'll have a title reign that's long. Or at least that's what they're trying to sell. No champions like, I'm here only to have the championship for a week. But you get my point. So I
Yeah.
see Cody winning, but if AJ wins, I think he does it using Mama Rhodes. Mama Rhodes!
Mama Rhodes. Um, let's go to the Women's Tag Team Championship match, Omari. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, are in a triple threat match against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn and Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler.
Okay. I'm aware of Zoe and Shayna. Alba and the Dawn. I'm not.
Are Scottish.
There's that explains everything. Uh that said, this is Jade and Bianca all the way. I don't see either of those other teams winning, even with it being the triple threat match. Those two right now are just beep beep.
That's where I would go as well, Omari. I mean, that's kind of the obvious choice here. However, wrestling math tells us that Isla and Alba ate the pin from Zoe and Shayna earlier this week on Raw. And then They were invited out to they were invited out to SmackDown to do a promo that was very much putting them over as the baby faces. They are the hometown crowd. If we're going to take the belts off of Bianca and Jade, maybe it's a scenario where a hometown team can pin not Bianca and Jade and take the belts.
Very much so. That was included in my, even though this is a triple threat match,
Right.
I could see where, yeah, if you're going to take the belt off of dominant people, triple threats is the way to do it.
Because they don't have to
That
eat the pin.
said, that said, WWE does like their hometown hero pops. They also love pissing off a hometown crowd. And up and comers like them, like I have not watched WWE close enough to know anything about Abaddon, but I don't see them as the team to dethrone them even through random shenanigans. Key for an upset, but I'm going. My gut still says Jade and Bianca just kind of. Or we got two other Scottish people on this show that could win their matches.
Let's go to one of them.
Right.
Bayley is going to be defending the WWE Women's Championship against Piper Niven. This was kind of thrown together 2 weeks ago. Do you really think Piper Niven's going to win? Or is this another one? Let's give the Scottish person a match in the Scottish pay-per-view.
She got a better chance of winning than Abaddon do.
I don't
That
know
said,
about that, Omari, because
that
it's not
said,
like a,
that I'm saying. That said, yeah, I'm still picking Bayley out of the two of them because it got leaked by I think Piper herself that she went to Triple H 2 weeks ago, tried to shoot her shot for a match and had to be told like, no, we got you. So one would think if a title is meant to change hands, one, you wouldn't let information about how you accumulated the match get out, and two, you wouldn't throw it together. Two, you wouldn't let the soon to be champion know that short out. Though allegedly Jericho found out he would be undisputed champ the day before. So
yeah, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Also, in today's wrestling, um, they wouldn't that would mean that we are setting up a Piper Niven versus Nia Jax SummerSlam match, which isn't a
big
match
meaty women
that,
slapping meat.
yeah, that's not a match that WWE does. They don't even really like doing the big meaty men versus each other. Like the video games literally tell you that for better match results, you should be pairing opposites against opposites. And like a little like Triple H emoji comes up out of the bottom of the screen if you try and do a giant versus giant match. And he'll be like, actually, similar styles don't always work for a good match. Better to do a giant versus a cruiserweight or like things like that. So like I it's just I think we're building on the SmackDown side of things for a Bayley versus Nia, and this is the early testing ground to be like, how does Bayley overcome a big lady before she gets to the biggest lady kind of
I
thing.
mean, hasn't she beaten said biggest lady before? Granted, said biggest lady is on a tear now.
I
So
mean, Nia
maybe
eats
that's it.
pins, but also she hasn't really gotten beat clean a whole
Well, I'm
lot.
saying recently, probably not,
Yeah.
but I'm saying in the past, I think that is a hurdle she has jumped before.
Mm-hmm.
But this is new motivated Queen of the Ring Naya on a
and
new tear.
and and once again babyface Bayley, who fights from the underdog position a lot as opposed to like the bully heel
Yeah.
role. that she was for quite a long time. Let's go to the Intercontinental Championship match, Omari. Sami Zayn is defending against Chad Gable, the entire Alpha Academy at ringside. What do you think happens here? Chad Gable has been a giant
He's been a giant.
douchebag
Yeah.
the last few weeks. Does Alpha
Yeah.
Academy finally say enough is enough? Do they help him win despite him being a D-bag?
They've
Do we
done that
have
like
new
twice though,
members of the
haven't they?
Alpha Academy
I was about to say,
show up?
haven't they helped him win twice despite him being a douchebag at pay-per-views? I know it happened at Battleground. Not Battleground, the last one we watched. One we watched
King of the
together.
Ring? But he
Yeah.
didn't help him win.
He just didn't turn on him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He like accidentally hit Sammy again kind of thing.
Gotcha.
When it's like a maybe he was actually trying to go for Chad kind of looking thing.
Yeah, I think they gotta have to pull. Well, it's just Clash. Only thing that worries me is it being the Scottish pay-per-view that's taking place in the middle of the day. Does WWE want to have that moment then? But then again, if not now, when, right? So many ways they can take it, and this is meant to be a shorter show. So I'm gonna say I'll go out on a limb and say they do betray him today. Though I could fully see them extending it to him having the title, and the reason he loses it is them betraying him.
Yeah, I picture, despite having extra rooting interest in Sami Zayn retaining for lots of reasons. Check out our show Mock Draft here also on this YouTube channel. I do think Chad is going to walk away the champion tonight, but I also think that there might be new and different members of Alpha Academy. Maybe we will get Alpha Academy as we know it saying enough is enough. We're not going to go with this douchebag Chad Gable. And then maybe we get some new members of Alpha Academy that show up and do the things that Chad Gable wants them to do. I don't know. There's been a lot of teasing in the background of shots. Chad Gable talking to different folks. We'll see. We'll see if it comes to anything. Finally, what I would imagine would be the main event here.
Given the poster and the location.
Yes. 1 year ago, Omari, Clash at the Castle, Wales. They pretended like Drew McIntyre was a hometown boy, gave him the main event shot against Roman Reigns, screwed him out of the win. Did a classic bloodline shenanigans finish.
Yep.
We're back 1 year later. We're in Scotland, Drew McIntyre's actual home country. He's back in the main event. He's fighting for a world title against Damian Priest. Judgment Day is barred from ringside. So no classic Judgment Day shenanigans. Fair.
I'm just being honest.
However, you do have forces at play. You have Carlito, who is not technically a Judgment Day member, although he has hung out with Judgment Day for the last 3 weeks. He has never been declared a member of Judgment Day. Maybe he can get in the ringside shenanigans. You have a Liv Morgan, who does not have a match on this card. Maybe you want some involvement from your women's world champion on Raw. She's wanting to be involved in Judgment Day businesses.
Especially because she don't like the Judgment Day. Because of Rhea.
Then you also have via someone's social media on Instagram confirmation that one CM Punk has arrived in Scotland. What do you think's going to happen, Omari?
Okay. So my first instinct is CM Punk cost Drew again to have a thing between the two of them. At the same time, it's really looking like if CM Punk or Damian wins, not a single title changes hands based on my predictions. And we just kind of had an
What the fuck was this?
That said, I could see them go, and I think they're going for the obvious Drew is gonna get screwed like last year thing so that he doesn't. And with the other Scottish people losing tonight, they give Drew the moment he's wanted with the in front of everybody, and then CM Punk attacks him. Like he overcomes the shenanigans and loopholes Judgment Day uses to try and cheat. He wins. CM Punk attacks him. We got our SummerSlam matchup. Punk McIntyre, which is a bigger marquee for SummerSlam than Priest versus whoever.
But Omari, Gunther won the right to challenge for the World Heavyweight title. And they have specifically said the World Heavyweight title.
Oh, yeah, that's at SummerSlam.
That's at SummerSlam. If Drew McIntyre and CM Punk are at SummerSlam,
that can't be for the title.
Do they really need the title?
True. I mean, I have a rooting interest in Priest for the same reason you have a rooting interest in Sammy. But without that being taken into account, I'm a fan of Drew McIntyre, and I want him to win this match in Scotland. So
Same
I'm rooting
here.
for Drew. I'm rooting for Drew. Let's go, Drew.
I agree. I'm excited for this one, Omari. I think it's going to be a pretty solid pay-per-view, other than the women's triple threat tag team match, which is always just pure chaos, which and not necessarily in a good way for me. Like there's chaos in a good way, anarchy in the arena, and then there's chaos of a random WWE 3-team tornado tag event that can sometimes just be a little lame. But AJ versus Cody is going to go so hard. Sammy versus Chad Gable is going to go so hard. Bayley versus Piper could compete possibly as one of the better women's matches of the year. They are going to go so hard. And then Drew versus Priest, I think, is going to surprise some people on how, because, Priest has gotten a lot of flack.
Yeah, it shouldn't
in
be a
these last
surprise,
3
but I
months.
agree with you.
Yes. Priest has gotten a lot of unwarranted negativity since WrestleMania about how he doesn't necessarily deserve the spot he's in, or he shouldn't be there, or X person should be there instead. And I would love to see him put on a really great match, no matter what the result is. I do like the idea of we've had since the injury, like obviously Drew was able to, in kayfabe, did the injury to CM Punk, but then since then it's been a lot of CM Punk sided. I do like the idea of CM Punk being there to potentially involve himself in the match, and Drew overcomes anyway. Potentially a blow of a kiss as he exits into the Scottish fans.
I've seen it. I've seen a tweet where someone also suggested that like he does the CM Punk to CM Punk in Scotland.
Yeah. I love that. But then like we talked about, I then don't know what you do with the world title. Do you somehow, we do have a Money in the Bank still. Do you really do CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank?
How much longer is this elbow injured? That's the real thing, or whatever his tricep. Yeah, How
Rumor
much?
is he's already cleared. Rumor.
Because Gunter
He's
Drew
quite
was
physically active on social medias now.
because Gunter Drew is still a bigger draw than Gunter Damian.
Yeah, Gunter Drew
Uh
is going to be humongous. It is going to be
so
such an
that's
amazing
still a
match.
good SummerSlam match.
But it's not Drew CM Punk.
Correct. This is hard. I'm saying Drew
Or
wins,
do you
but
just reserve it? Do you just put it on the shelf and let it cook? CM Punk gets back and he's like, all right, Drew McIntyre, let's fucking go. And Drew McIntyre's like, I'm the champion now, bro. You
get in
gotta get in the
line.
line to fight me.
Yeah,
Like,
get in line.
and then CM Punk has to win the Royal Rumble or win the Money in the Bank or something like that, win some sort of number one contendership over the next several months as Drew McIntyre faces Gunther and these kind of
Yeah,
things.
some random third party distracts Punk long enough for Drew to do this Gunter thing and
Mhm.
then come back. Kind of like how Brock just attacked Cody for no reason after WrestleMania last year to distract him from going back after Roman immediately. Just, hey, here's Brock for 3 months beating the shit out of Cody for no reason whatsoever, but he's Brock, so it's what he do.
I don't know about that one unless Brock comes back,
it wouldn't happen.
unless he comes back on the other side of the coin. Where
Yeah.
like CM Punk comes out and is like, all right, Drew, let's fight. And Drew's like, well, no, I'm kind of occupied. I'm the title holder now. Then Gunther comes out and is like, yeah, CM Punk, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits and Brock's like, cancel your plans, Gunther. I get to show up and make matches happen. And I've just told the higher ups that we're fighting.
Oh, I doubt Brock will
and
bring
then
him on.
that forces Gunther to reserve his title shot match until Bash at Berlin, which would be more important to him. Well, there's a lot of moving
There's a
parts
lot
here.
of stuff that could happen. I'm just gonna say Drew wins today, and as far as what happens with Gunther, we'll burn that bridge when we cross it. Uh yeah. With the
If you
fucking
like
Claymore in
hearing
the
us
air.
talk about nonsense, you can hear us talk about nonsense several times a week. We have a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we share media back and forth, TV shows, movies, concert films, documentaries, wrestling matches, all kinds of things. One guy's seen it, the other one hasn't. We trade it back and forth. We also have a show on here every other Monday called Mock Draft, where we just draft fun things, everything from the universe, from Looney Tunes characters to cereals to anything in between. We just draft them and have some fun, and it's fun conversation. Go check that out. Also, on Wednesdays, we have on the Feo Grande YouTube network a podcast starring Feo Grande and
Super Jazz.
I almost called him Big Ugly himself, and I had to stop myself, and then I completely spaced. Super Jazz, called Whatever We Want, that you can find right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. Omari, did I miss anything else?
I believe you mentioned everything there. I have a Twitter and Twitch at Giotami. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. But yeah, that's about all I got there.
All right. Have a good sports week, folks.